Babies. Hey, how's everybody? Wait a minute, you all in my shot. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mother Love coming to you live and in living color, and Mr. Cool TLC will be here with us momentarily. This has been just such a crazy weekend. Seriously, it's been a crazy weekend. So much stuff is going on. I know y'all heard about oh, wait a minute. Okay, see, I went live too fast. Okay.
You still you
Okay, so anyway, we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. One of the things we're going to talk about is the horrific laws that the state of Alabama has put upon women who are seeking abortions. And I mean, this is so extreme, it doesn't even make, well, none of it makes sense because, first of all, I don't even understand why a man think he should tell a woman what to do with her body. You don't have control over your own body. Why you want to tell somebody else what to do with their body? And then, but then with all of the crazy stuff, if a woman wants to terminate a pregnancy because that's what's best for her and her best interest. And the politicians, first of all, politicians do not need to be all up in your underwear, all up in your Kool-Aid. Oh, my earring just fell off. All up in your Kool-Aid, trying to tell you what you can do and how you can think and what you can say. It's just crazy.
The show will go live in 5 seconds. 4,
It's
3,
2, 1. All right. So anyway, like I said, I'm learning this whole new format and everything, and I appreciate you all bearing with me. Something happened over here. Bearing with me as I'm learning this new. I got a new computer, and, new stuff, and I'm learning how to work with it. The whole conversation about men trying to tell women what to do with their bodies, and the state of Alabama has gone back so far. It is just ridiculous. If a woman is raped and she conceives, if a woman is sexually molested and she conceives, if a young girl is raped by her uncle or her cousin or somebody in her family and she becomes pregnant, that she's forced to have a baby that she does not want. And I talk about this all the time. I don't even understand how you all think that it's all right to tell a woman what to do with her body. It just doesn't make any sense. And then the whole weight is on the woman. The whole weight is on the woman, and that shouldn't be it. I mean, it takes two to procreate, and if one doesn't want to procreate, because you just never know. You just never know. You just have no right to tell anybody what to do with their bodies. And now they're saying that if a female gets pregnant, no matter what the circumstances are, I don't know what happened, but can you hear me, TLC? I don't think you can hear me. Okay, we got to push the right button. Oh, that's power right there. And so here, if a woman gets pregnant under whatever the circumstances is, and the fella, for the most part, doesn't have anything to say about, well, I shouldn't say anything to say about it, but the whole responsibility is on this woman. And now you want to tell her, okay, well, just treat your uterus like an incubator. We don't care what you say. We don't care what's going on. You just do this. And this is the part they jump up and down and talk about pro-life and all of these things and what women shouldn't do. And hello, can you hear me?
I got you.
You got me? All right, baby. So we're talking about, that's Mr. Cool TLC coming at you, baby. Okay, because you said you brought this up about Alabama. Tell us your feelings, sir, on what you think is wrong with these people in Alabama that they would even go this far.
I just think it's wrong with people, period, because everybody's having this situation. This Roe v. Wade came up, you know what I'm saying? Ever since this whole situation, what is the purpose? Like I understand where people are just trying to control people, but what is your main purpose? Because there's always a main purpose to everything. So what is the main purpose of everybody having this? I know some people pro-lifer, some people are not, but it's still a choice of the individual, period. So what is, everybody making these decisions and the judges and all that, but what is the real purpose though?
The purpose of it, from what I see, is that men want to tell women what to do. It's always about the bourgeoisie class and us, the proletariats. The bourgeoisie class wants to tell us proletariats what to do, but we don't get to tell them what to do. Even that's how I was back over in Europe and everything, and they brought some of that crazy over here to America when it was getting invaded. And so here we are. They want to tell you, don't do this. This is what I think it is. It's the fear of the reality of knowing that a man cannot produce a baby. He cannot carry a baby. He can't hold a baby. And see, that's the ultimate control. So if I can bring forth life, you help me bring forth life. And so I want to be able to control that. I want to be able to tell you, that this is what I want you to do, because remember, women were raised up like property. This is even before the transatlantic slave trade. You think about this, even in Africa. Men back over in Africa, and I went there, I saw with my own two eyes. I did. The men in Africa, in some countries, most of them, they can have as many wives as they want to. They can have as many kids as they want to. That's not how it is over here. They want to tell us what we can do and what we cannot do. And this is what I think it is. The biggest fear is old white men are terrified of the browning of America. They don't know whether to crap or go blind. And their young girls and their daughters and nieces, they don't want to have babies when they're young. They want to go out and see the world and, stand in their purpose and travel and do all these wonderful things. And they're not looking to have babies. I was talking about this the other day. A lot of these young kids, especially where we at with the millennials, they're like, I don't want to have a baby at 25, and then we say, oh, well, you're in your childbearing years. And so what the heck is that? So it's just such a horrific mindset that these old white men have, that they feel like they can control somebody else's body and tell them what to do. And then when women start pushing back, they were like in the Supreme Court. Oh my goodness, we only got 9 people on the court, and 6 of them as criminals. 6 of them are doing all kind of crazy and unscrupulous stuff. And we can't even get, and they just, well, actually, when you think about it, did the Supreme Court really overturn Roe v. Wade, or did they give that responsibility to the states?
I mean, they just wash their hands, right? They just wash their hands of it. They ain't really do nothing but wash their hands of the whole situation. So they really didn't, they didn't overturn it. You just gave it to somebody that could overturn it. But see, what really don't make no sense, because, and I'm just saying this, because it's just not old white men. It's not just old white men. It's all the people that believe that they should, but that don't make sense, because now you're saying they got to have the baby. So if you're trying to control a narrative, why are you saying have a baby? That don't make sense. Because if you're trying to stop the browning of America, why say have a baby? What? That don't make sense anywhere that they try to run this narrative. If you're trying to stop something, why do you say have something?
Oh Lord, the phones are ringing. Okay, go ahead.
But that's what I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just let people do what they want to do. It's decisions that we make on both sides, men and women. We make wrong decisions or right decisions. You know what I'm saying? But let people do what they want to do.
Oh Lord. Wait a minute, hold up. I gotta turn this off. Hold on, everybody. This is a live show, and it is.
This is what happens when it's live. We have no control of what might happen.
I'm not good with electronics.
Right, so you just throw it against the wall and hope it shut off.
Okay, so go ahead. What did I miss?
No, I was just saying, all I'm saying is we fickle as human beings, period, because we don't know what to do. Like, if people want to have kids, let them have kids. If they don't, that's their choice. Why are you worried about somebody else's life? And you can't even control your own life, period.
And how hypocritical is this? These men, and I'm talking about the politicians right now, and the governors and the mayors and all the people in our 3 branches of government. They cannot sit up. I bet you they could not sit up. These men could not sit up with a straight face and say, oh, I never paid for an abortion for my mistress. I never paid for an abortion when, when
Right.
this happened. Oh, but I believe in the, I'm pro-life. But my girlfriend she can't have no baby. My wife cannot find out. Oh no. It's just such a mixed bag of stupid. It's what it sounds like to me. And another thing they're frightened of, just like this, what's this guy named? Okay, he's running for president. He kind of like went berserk at the Republican at their first debate. His Vivek Swamamami. Mama Swamp, he told me he got the funny name
Swami.
like Barack Obama.
I don't even know how you pronounce it. I'm just wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, blame it on my education.
Wait a minute.
Oh, weird.
But okay, so here he is saying that, to me he sounds like the 45th, trying to revamp the 45th with the stupid stuff that he says. And he is just utterly ridiculous. I just don't even understand. And this is what y'all want, to be in the person that you want to run the country, somebody who can't even, stand on his own words. Don't even respond to a question that was asked of him that he said, and the news guy just asked him, so what did you mean when you said the 45th president was abhorrent, just was horrible, terrible? And he sat there on TV and went, well, see, you don't understand. This is what if that was me on January the 6th, I would have did thus and so. He got asked the question 3 times. He never answered the question. And then you want to have these people in control of other people's bodies. I'm glad the young people are standing up. This is what I want to tell you about him. This is how crazy and spastic he is. He wants to raise the voting age to 25.
Okay. and what is that supposed to do? It don't even matter. You raise it to 25, but I can get a gun at 18. Right. So it don't even make no sense. You stopping me from voting, so I won't vote about the gun laws? Is that why you trying to do it? Because I can't get a gun illegally until I'm 21. But 4 years later, I can vote. That's what you're trying to say?
And this is another thing I don't understand about the whole age thing. At 18 years old, you're still a teenager. You're no longer a teenager after you turn 20. Then that's when adulthood starts coming out of your teen years. You're 18 years old. I'm glad we don't have a draft. You're 18 years old, and you could go into the military and go and serve your country, and they will teach you how to operate a gun. They will teach you on these assault weapons that are strictly made to kill, to maim and kill. And then you want to say you don't need to vote on this till you're 25, and you can do this with being in the military, but you can't go into the liquor parlor and have a drink. Now you 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 3 years. So like your body gonna know from 18 to 23 to 21. But if you can carry a gun, if you've been taught and trained to carry a weapon at 18, I don't understand why the legal drinking age is not 18. And if you're gonna make it to 21, then they shouldn't have to be able to go into the military until they're 21. It's just like, I want to have my cake and eat it. Matter of fact, I want to have a whole darn bakery because I want to tell you all what to do. They don't like people thinking for themselves. That's the problem. Accountability.
Right. Nobody wants to be accountable, but some of us don't want to think for ourselves. We just go on with the status quo. We ain't thinking for ourselves. We don't want to think. That's too hard. Let me just get what I'm gonna get, and whatever they serve me, I'm gonna just deal with.
I'm just gonna take
that. If you complacent, why complain about stuff? If you complacent, why complain?
I don't think people understand what complacent means. They really don't. They don't even understand what a lot of people don't even know the difference between we know bougie. One time my nephew told me, he said, Auntie, you are so bougie. Everybody in the car just bust out laughing. Like,
right.
What would you think? What makes you think I'm bougie? He said, oh, I know you bougie. I've known you all. And what does that mean, son? What does that mean? He said, well, you got that bougie attitude because you act like you supposed to have the best of everything. And I was like, I didn't know that was bougie. I kind of thought that was like I knew what it was that I wanted, and why would I want anything bad for my life? And if I'm gonna be dreaming, why not dream big-tacular? And he was like, "Oh yeah, right." I'm like, And he riding around in a new Cadillac. Oh, but
Right.
I'm bougie.
Right.
I don't even
Right.
own a car anymore. I haven't owned a car in 23 years.
Right. That's why we just take a word and run with it because it becomes mainstream. You know, bougie is princess and ghetto put together. That's all that is. Bougie is just another way to say you think you better than the hood.
Well, you really think that's it? Because I think some of the
bougie,
I think,
ghetto,
I
bougie
think some of
ghetto.
listen, I know I have been ghetto fabulous. I was always ghetto fabulous. I'd walk out the door. My mother would say, "Baby, yes, we do live in the projects, but you walk out that door. You walk out there like you own the space that you are in. Walk out like you got $1,000,000 in your pocket. Be ready, be ready, be ready. When you're already, you don't have to get ready. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you know what it is that you want to do, and you stand in that, and everybody has a purpose, and some people want to shirk their purpose. They don't want to be responsible for the purpose. Oh, it looks too big, and then they get complacent, and then they want to complain. I don't know why my life is so jacked up, and they never think about the karma, the stuff that they did on yesterday and the day before yesterday. I'm just
yeah, and it don't even it don't even go one side. How about the people that do got the money that want to be hood? Why do you want to be hood? Because you think that we glorify that lifestyle. So you come from a well-off situation, you ain't struggling, but you want to make all these magnificent stories like you did this and did that, and you ain't even live that lifestyle.
And I think that's so wrong. And one of the things, especially with our athletes and entertainers and anybody who comes from, for lack of a better phrase, from rags to riches, that they don't understand how money works. And they don't understand when you got money, your friends and your family think they got money too. They want to be in your pocket. Oh, I need you to do this for me. Can you pay my rent for this month? Matter of fact, when I first came out here to Hollywood, and I used to tell people all the time I was going to be a star. I mean, I was going to be a known star. I was born a star.
Right.
So I didn't have to become something that I already was. And this was part of my journey. So, I'm, going up through the ranks, and I get to California, and they thought I was being bourgeoisie because I was sent for. I was on the road doing stand-up comedy, and this guy who knew about me said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to shake up LA Talk Radio. I'm going to give Mother love.
Right.
He came to Cleveland and he got me and opened up this whole new world for me. Don't you know I was not here for a week? I wasn't here for a week. I was still in the when they bring you out and your what is it? When you're moving to another place, they give you transitional housing. And it was a really nice complex I was in. It was beautiful, completely furnished. I didn't have to do anything but bring my clothes in and get myself situated and cry every day because I miss my baby. Okay, that's right. But I was still in the condo. They called it. You told me when you got to California, when you went to Hollywood, when you made it big, you was gonna do this and that and the third for me. Okay, I need you to do. I'm like, I haven't been here a week. What is your problem? Well, I'll be waiting on what you told me you was gonna give me. I was like, really? That's how I went down the line like that. And people just don't understand all the stuff that we have to go through when you are, when you have a career, when you're working on your assignment, and some people when they get their assignment, they just really kind of screw up. Let's just talk about screwing up your life and somebody else's life. The Michigan State University football coach, Mr. Mel Tucker, married man with 2 children, has been accused of sexually assaulting a young woman. Her name is Brenda Tracy, who had already been victimized and it is a sexual assault survivor. And he knew this about her because he met her during her advocacy work. She goes around to the colleges and talks to these young men in these sports arenas, talk to them in college about, what sexual assault is, what sexual harassment is, what is rape, what is consent. When she says no, she means no, and educating them. And so he was, okay, yeah. So then she said, this happened back in April 2022, that she felt violated by him because on several phone calls that she was having with him, that he was self-pleasuring himself while he was on the phone with her. And she felt violated about that. And he was doing that through one of their conversations. So, and he said it was consensual. It was consensual phone sex. It was consensual. She said
okay.
It was not. I mean, how do you even go about even proving something like that? And then he says, well, she has a distorted view of their sexual exploitation, and it has really affected him, and he says, I feel like a fool that I got myself into this, and I'm having a hard time forgiving myself for getting into this situation. Really?
Right.
Really?
Hey, it might be a true. It might, sometimes, the bear of what you do sometimes come back on you, whether you admit it or not. If you claim it and you really feel that way, then it's going to shine through. If you're not really saying that way and you only saying it just for the publicity of things, because my thing is, how many conversations did they have?
Obviously more than one.
And if you did, why'd you pick up the phone?
Okay.
Explain that to me. Did he threaten you to make you pick up the phone? Why'd you pick up the phone? If you had a conversation like that and you found out the first time he did that, why are you still having conversations?
That's the point. Why does it seem like the weight falls on the woman? This happened, she said, in April of 2022. The school did a full, thorough investigation. And while they were investigating him, I guess they were going to suspend him. And then when they found out, after their investigation, they fired him. He had a 10-year, $95 million contract. And you let Joe Johnson do the thinking for you. What? No wonder God said y'all need two heads, because one of them wasn't going to be thinking, and it wasn't the one on the top of your head.
I mean, we all fall short of the glory anyway. Because it's not even just the men. Women do the same thing. It's just not suggestively put out there that women do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I'm saying is with her knowing the situation, even if he know he had a problem and he was doing it or doing whatever, I'm not saying to rely on her, but why pick up the phone?
Why pick up the phone? See, and I personally have a hard time watching and seeing and hearing women give away their power when men come at them like that, whether it's on the job, in the military, simply because they want to have power and control over you. And quiet as it's kept, ladies, I know we let them think that they have power and control over us. And some of you get, get intimidated, and men feel intimidated by that because they feel like if, you're smart. I mean, if you're smart and you're making more money, you're trying to emasculate him. Really, shut up. Can no woman take away no man's masculinity? Like, no man can tell any woman what to do with her. You gonna have anything to do with that. Just like she doesn't have anything to do with taking away your masculinity. And I thought you feel weak when you're around strong women. I don't know men who are afraid of women. Grown men are not afraid of grown women. Grown men are afraid of a grown man does not fear a grown woman.
No, they don't. But then you got some women that want to belittle a man. See, that's the problem. It's a lot of stuff that happens on the other side of the coin is not really talked about, because you can't believe, nobody believes that a woman can rape a man. Nobody believes that a woman can be stronger or talk down on a man so much that she makes him feel belittled. Nobody thinks that can happen, though. But it don't have nothing to do with the male part of it, it's a mental thing. And some people are weak-minded. But nobody talks about that. Nobody has the gauze to say, oh, no woman can do that to a man. Why not?
I mean, I've heard of women, wanting to get pregnant and will have drugged the guy, not to the point where he was completely out of it, but he was functioning enough to be able to get an erection, and she would, get on top of him and just bang, 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 and whatever.
Right.
His body is going to respond. Then he's going to get up and find out she's pregnant. Or she get his sperm and put it in a turkey baster. I never would have thought that would have worked.
Right.
Hey, you just never know what's going to go on. But he knew what he was doing was wrong. And I would have to eventually say she knew what he was doing was wrong. And yes, right, she should have hung up the phone, but she didn't know if that was going to jeopardize her advocacy work, if it was going to go behind her back and talk about her, because men do gossip. They'll tell you in a minute, so if they think a woman is promiscuous, back in the day, they would say, oh yeah, she just like a doorknob. Everybody get a turn. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, I never called the kettle black because the kettle did the same thing the pot did. You know what I'm saying? But that's a double standard. That's always been a double standard. When a man do it, oh, he's just being a man.
Oh, they said the same thing when he sexually assaulted a girl. Oh, he didn't mean that. And we couldn't even call it sexual assault. They didn't know what that was. And especially if it's your wife, because men had in their heads from probably the beginning of time, even if we didn't know what the word rape was and what it meant, men have always thought a husband could not rape his wife, could not rape his own wife. And rape is forcible. And it's not about sex. It's about power and control. I want to control you. I want your body to do what I tell it to do. When I tell it to do it. And that's when men become abusive. And I didn't think women could be abusive to men.
Shoot. Yeah.
I didn't. It was always on the man beating on the woman until I saw this up close. Okay, a young lady called us. She said her husband was beating on her and she needed to get away, and it's in the middle of the night. And me and my husband, we drag ourselves out the bed in the middle of the winter, in the middle of the night. We get up, we go over there and we get her. And, she's like, she wasn't even in the hallway. She was still in the apartment. We could hear her screaming and cussing at him and everything. And mind you, she was saying that he was abusing her. And then he had broken his leg, I think, and she wasn't a small woman, and she sat down on his leg and broke it again. He said, you don't even know how she is abusing me. I broke my leg and she broke it again sitting on it. I'm not hitting on her. She hitting on me. I can't even get up and walk around the house. She got to bring me food, and she'll bring me food and spit it in the front of me. Really?
Yeah.
I was so out there. Then this was the part that got me. They back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 2 or 3 days later, we don't know where she is. We're trying to, locate her, make sure she's safe. Oh, she done went back to her husband.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, as it's horrible as humans, we are vindictive. And then you got some men that will not hit a woman, no matter what. Won't hit a woman at all. But then she think he's weak. Because he ain't knocking your head off. Because them the dudes you used to. So when you find one, you say, I want a good man. You find one, but you abusive to him because of your past abusions.
And that is so awfully, terribly, horribly unfair. It's unfair to him, and it's really unfair to you because you've allowed somebody in your past to stand into your present and dictate your future when they're no longer even involved in your life, except you giving them all kind of real estate in your head. Well, Charles, he was a dog, and I don't want to talk to him about anything. But, I like Ricky, but because Charles was a dog, I ain't going to get nothing to Ricky. He going to have to eat 10 miles of my crap. I'm like, dude, Slick Rick Lee, that chick. Oh, that's right. That's pretty good. Right. That's pretty good. And it just gets crazy. And we've talked about this before, how people are so vindictive and so mean to each other because they're mean to themselves. They don't even
Right.
see the value in themselves. And I just want to say this about any woman who has been sexually assaulted, has been raped, has been misused, has been sexually abused. Stand up for yourself. Speak for yourself. Let your no mean no. And when the cats can't understand what no mean, it's time for you to get around a new group of people, because you don't need to be carrying that stuff with you for all the time and giving away free real estate. No. Speaking of
Right.
holding on to something for a long time, a long time. I know. Remember when President John F. Kennedy? I think he was the 34th president. Dang, we've been around a long time. TLC.
Right. I only was it he what was he you said he was what?
I
Number
think it
what?
was the 34th president when
34th,
President Kennedy
yeah.
got assassinated in 1963.
Yeah, I'm only 10 years old. I don't know what time it is.
Okay.
I'm only gonna say I'm 10 years old. I don't care.
I would have turned 10 that year. My father died in February and he was assassinated in November 22nd, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, in Dealey Plaza. They said it was a lone gunman that shot him in the back.
Right.
And that the bullet went through the back of President Kennedy, out of his throat, and hit the then governor of Texas, Governor Connor, hit him in the back, came out of his from up under his left nipple, hit his hand and hit his thigh. That now they called this back then, the Warren Report, the Warren Commission called it the magic bullet, because it said it did so much damage, to the governor, but it went through the president, shot and killed him, and came through his. And now one of the president's Secret Service men who was there, he was there right there on the running board.
Right.
On side his partner, on the other side of the president of the United States and the First Lady, Mrs. Jacqueline Kennedy. The bullet comes out. His name is Paul Landis. He lives in our hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Well, actually, he lives in a ritzy suburb, but we're just gonna say
he bougie.
Yeah, we're gonna say he lived in Cleveland. He has after 60 years of holding this inside of him, learning how to deal with it. He said it was time for him to speak up and tell what he saw and what he knew. And he's held on to this for 60 years. And he has a book coming out about what happened that day. He said he heard 2 shots. He only heard 2 shots. His partner said he heard 3 shots. And I remember them saying it was either 2 or 3 shots. And then they said even if it was 3 shots, it couldn't have been a lone gunman, because the gun that he had, Lee Harvey Oswald, they said he was the one that assassinated the president. They said he couldn't have loaded that gun that fast to shoot that gun 3 times in that short amount of time. So, you heard about this, the grassy knoll, where everybody said another shot came from there. And one from up in the book suppository where Lee Harvey Oswald was. So as we've gotten older, and everybody's got their conspiracy theories and, what they think it was a second shooter. He couldn't have loaded the gun that fast, and how did, they get him right away almost. They get Lee Harvey Oswald.
Right.
He was a cup of water, and the gun looked like it was probably bigger than he was. They take him into custody, and Jack Ruby can get through the police crowd and shoot this man dead. And the next thing we hear is Oswald, he's been shot. Oswald has been shot. So I'm like, I'm just, even going back over into my head at 10 years old, it didn't sound right. I remember they pulled us all out of school that day. I thought it was something, something that happened to my mother. Because when our father died, they came up to the school. One of my aunts or somebody came up to the school and pulled us out of elementary school. And I thought they came up, and I was like, oh God, no, not my mama. And I'm just shaking, and I'm just, I was a little bitty thing, and it was cold, and I get there, and when I saw my mother, because everybody got off from work. I mean, people acted like that was their brother, that was their son.
Right, right. A lot of people did.
And that broke up a lot. I mean, a lot of people were crying. You know, we were crying because our mom, the adults were crying. We didn't even know what we was crying for. Then after they blew their nose, they finally said, President Kennedy has been shot. And we sat there riveted for days watching because that was like the first like really big thing you could watch on television, president getting assassinated. And we couldn't see the footage for a while. And it was something that Oswald was the only shooter, so they say. Jack Ruby came up. I don't know how he got in there to them with a gun and shoot this man dead. And now they talk about this magic bullet. So he's decided, Paul Landis has decided that he's going to break his silence. And from what I understand from the story I was reading, he was, looking to find a publisher to help tell his story. And finally, somebody that he, was able to partner with, help him find a publisher, I think in Chicago, to get his book published. And, people, when stuff like that, they're like, first thing they think, what's the first thing you think? Oh, he waited 60 years. He wanted to tell this story. What is he up to? He got to be up to something. He must want notoriety. He must want a bunch of money for the book deal. He said, well, this is the guy that helped him get the book deal. He said, the man is 88 years old. What he is looking at amounts to a deathbed confession in his memoir about what he saw, about what he knew, what he needed to say, because he wanted people to know, that he said he has no end game. He has no goal. His goal was to get that out of his heart and out of his psyche. He's 88 years old. What possible goal could he have other than wanting to tell the truth? If you've held to something the majority of your life, I'm asking you this question, TLC. You've had something that you're holding on to that you knew would affect other people, and you don't even know how it's going to affect other people, but you've kept this deep inside of you for so long. Would you want to tell it on your deathbed? Would you want people to know at the last minute what you were holding and or who you were holding it for or against?
Nah. I was trying to think about that without using my pettiness.
But you kind of fading out. Better?
I said I was trying to use that without saying my pettiness. Because I'm being petty. I can be petty. Knowing me, I'll wait till the last minute when I know I'm about to take my last breath. And then, by the way, then I would tell the story and be like, well, I'm about to be out anyway. I'm about to be out anyway. Ain't nothing y'all can do with me except don't put me on ice. I mean, I'm just saying, that's my pettiness. That's just me speaking in my pettiness. But I
think that's wrong. I think if you've had something in you that long, why would you on your deathbed want to hurt another human being? You might even be releasing them. You never know how it's gonna go.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
And people don't know how to react. We had kept something in, my brothers and sisters and I collectively. When we were kids, it's 6 of us. It was 6 of us. And when we were kids and our parents left, our older sister was left in charge of us. Well, my parents had a shag rug. Remember how long the shag rug was on the carpet? Well, they had 2, one up under the cocktail table in the living room and one that separated the kitchen from the living room. And so my sister accidentally set the rug up under the cocktail table on fire.
Oh, wow.
That ain't funny. To look back at it in retrospect, it was hilarious. She accidentally set the rug on fire. So first, you got to kick the table out the way. So she kicks the table over and all the little knickknacks on the table fall over. She was like, get some water. So we run in with some water. We throw it on the rug. The rug is soaking wet. So we get the fire out. So she said, okay, everybody got an assignment. I was on the cutting. I had the scissors, and I was cutting it down. She and I were cutting it down. Our 2 brothers, they were taking it back and forth and bringing the water and helping us get it down. And the little sisters, they were just sitting there looking at us like, we are not gonna be involved.
Right, y'all in trouble.
No, big trouble. They gonna come in here and whoop everybody because we gonna say they burnt it up. Because me, I'd have been like, oh yeah, she did it. So we made a pact. She said, after we cut the rug down, it was so smooth. We cut the rug down. We got the burn smell out the house. But before they came back, because you know back in the day, pine saw would kill any smell. You could douse a dead body that's been out there for 3 days, throw on some pine saw, and you couldn't even see.
Right. Right. Smooth it over with some Murphy oil.
Right.
Smooth it over with some Murphy oil.
Well, so that's what you shine the pot. That's what you shine the furnace with.
Right.
Young people don't know anything about these hacks. That's what, and they don't. I was okay. Let me finish the story about my sister burning up the rug and she got an assembly line going. So and keeping things in for a long time. So I'm gonna say she must have been about 9 or 10 because she's 2.5 years older than me. So and our father was still living. So she have us on this whole assembly line. She and I we're cutting down the shag. We get the whole smell out, and our parents came in. And they looked over at the rug, and and they was just like, had to look on a puzzling look like something's not right. And
they know.
We was all holding collective breath. And they walk on there, put the groceries in. Y'all go down there and get the rest of them groceries, bring them on up here. And so
y'all ain't want to leave.
They would come in the living room, they would look at that rug, and they were like, something is wrong with this. Okay, fast forward 20 years, maybe even 25 years. We're sitting around having a good time, playing cards, jaw jerking, reminiscing about our childhood growing up. And so one of them decided to tell the story about the shag rug burn. And they went into all the details. My older sister and I are sitting there like, oh, no, they did not do this. And so by this time, we're all laughing and joking about it because it happened 25 years ago.
Right. Right. You ain't got no choice now. Just laugh it all off.
Let me tell you, our mother got up from the table, threw the cards at all of us. We was laughing. So she said, you know what? I don't like none of y'all right now. I knew something was wrong with that rug. And your daddy died knowing something was wrong with that rug, but we just couldn't put our finger on. I don't like none of y'all. All of y'all, get out of my house.
Right. After 20-something years and you just now said this, I was like, leave y'all money on the dresser. I was like, leave y'all money on the dresser.
She was so upset with us.
Yeah, with me too. All these years I've been looking at the rug and couldn't figure out what was wrong. Yeah, I'd be upset too. Petty upset.
I was not gonna spill the beans. I think that's why I was psychologically damaged from that incident. I am horrible at cutting. I mean, I could cut like wrapping paper, and I can shred paper, tear paper better than I could cut it with a pair of scissors. And when they don't let me cut up the chicken, even when I got kitchen shears, they was like, "Don't let her cut up the chicken. It's gonna look like rags when she get finished." And they told me 5 times how to cut the chicken up, and it seemed like the scissors just went in their own way, and it would look like a big hunk of.
Right, you over there cutting We Are the People. You know how you cut the hands and make people all connect, and when you spread it out, it's a whole bunch of people with their hands connected. That's how the chicken look. Like, why is this looking like a picture of people? Like,
It was like, wait a minute, you couldn't, and they used to always say, a chicken is the easiest thing for you to cut up and dissect. Well, yeah, if you're good with scissors. And I'll bet you, if I got up now and just went through my office, just in my office alone, I probably got about 5 or 6 pair of scissors in here. Every kind of size, small ones, big ones, old tips. Some of them I cut my hand on, and I'm just like, I'm just traumatized. They asked me to tear some paper. I could tear paper just as smooth, tin foil just as smooth, but I'm psychologically damaged from scissors. You know how some childhood trauma can go with you till you're 912.
Right. That's why you need to go to Scissor Anonymous. You need to go to Scissor Anonymous.
I am not going to a self-help.
Hi, my name is Mother Love, and I'm a scissor abuser.
I would be a chicken abuser. But trust me, I've gotten a lot better because I've learned how to spatchcock chicken. And you know what that is? That's when you take the chicken, you cut it down the breastbone, you take the chicken and you cut it down the backbone on both sides, and then you open it up like a butterfly chicken. And I still can jack that up. Oh my goodness. They'll be like, oh, she cut up the chicken. Who gave Mother Love some scissors?
See, that's why I go to the store and say, cut this up for me. Because I'm not going to do it. Please, by all means, Mr. Butcher, can you do your daily? Because I'm not going to do that.
But like I said, I've gotten a lot better at it. I mean, you could tell the drumstick, and I can even cut the drumstick from the thigh. I'll cut it. Half the back, half of the bottom of the back be on the
yeah,
chicken.
like
I couldn't cut that chicken, and then it'd be this big giant piece of chicken thigh, and you got a little egg like real small, like this big. I learned how to do that, and they could still tell when I've cut up the chicken. They could still tell, but I've gotten better. My
kids, you know what? You know what's funny? When you said I cut it up and it looked like this, like I can see it. I know everybody else can, but you did say it like I can see it too. Okay, you know we on radio, right? You know we on radio.
Following us on Facebook and following us on Twitter and X. I'm sorry, X.
You go say cut it up like this and it's little like this. Like I can see it though. For real, thank you very much. You know we on the radio, right? I just want to say that again.
Well, no, I'm on camera. I'm on
right, but I'm not. But I'm not. You can't say stuff like little bitty like that
because it's him. He the one coming. Okay, now we're gonna move on because I got a few other things I want us to talk about. You know, I don't know if people really understand how old our legislature is. We have the oldest sitting Congress in the history of the United States of America.
Right.
The average age of the person sitting in Congress is 66 years. Now we got Mitch McConnell, he 80-something years old. President Joe Biden, he 80-something years old. The 45th, he's 79, kicking 80 all up in the buttocks. Nancy Pelosi, who is 81 years old, has decided that she's going to run in the 2024 election. She's 81 years old. Now, I know that we have a problem with a lot of isms, age isms, when it's too old. How long should the Supreme Court sit there? Should they have that position for life? And then when they start getting senile and they want to go revert back to, the 1950s when they were born, and they're like overturning all of these, like overturning Roe v. Wade. It was like something out of the 1950s. And so she wants to run for the Senate. What is your take? And I'm not trying to, say people, but I think it should be an age limit on some things. I don't think you should be 80-something years old trying to govern 300 and something million people. Good, bad, ugly, right, wrong, as divisive as we are. That's enough on the same person, or a younger person. I mean, and we've seen this. The presidency ages everybody. And I just am so glad that Barack Obama, two-time president, Barack Hussein Obama, two-term president. I just love to say that.
Right.
That he was the best. He is still the best looking president we ever had. He was better looking than JFK because he was tall, he was lithe, he was muscular, and he didn't walk. He had a swag. He still has swag.
Right.
He has swagger. This cat could put on his aviators, throw his jacket over his arm, over his shoulder. The worst thing they could say about this cat was he wore a tan suit. The president.
Right. That's all.
That's what you got. That's what you got.
That's all they got.
8 years. They couldn't find him cheating on his wife. He didn't have a mistress. He wrote in a book he smoked pot. I think a whole lot of people, participated in pot smoking.
Man, all them people in Congress did. All them hippies. Come on, quit playing with me.
I don't know who they thought. And I don't care what the Chuck Grassley, he looked high to me all the time.
Right. I mean,
he looked high. His eyes always look glassy. I don't know if it's because that he's an elder statesman. Shut up, mother.
Right. But you gotta think about it. All these people been in Congress before BC. That's before Congress. That's before Congress.
That's
before Congress, people. BC. Not AD. Mm-hmm. But after the decision. After the Democrats. No, this is before Congress. They've been around. I just think that Nancy Pelosi, for real, should not run again. You know, but first of all, let me stop saying run, because she's not running. She's walking. She's walking.
Not fast walking.
She's not running. She's walking. So she's walking for office. She's not running for office. I don't, you know, it's just certain things you just ain't gonna do. Bless her heart. You know, I'm gonna just say that. Bless her heart. But you just at 83?
81.
Well, 81. I'm still thinking about
she'll be 82.
Right, but I'm thinking about getting me an RV and go travel the world and go places that I've never seen. Why am I worried about trying to run somebody at 81?
I got the best medical care. I'm going to be able to go to the best doctors and hospitals. I have a pension for life. I don't have to worry about anything. I think, I don't know if they get Secret Service protection for the rest of their life. I know the president and his family does.
They probably get one or two of them.
Maybe for a little while.
Right, for a little while until they find out that y'all all right. There ain't nobody gonna mess with you. That's how they leave the thing. They be like, y'all all right. Ain't nobody gonna mess with y'all. Y'all good.
Do you think it is time for term limits?
It's been time for term limits. I think this is personally me. Please understand, this is not the views of Mother Love. This is the views of Cool TLC. I personally think that when the president do his 2 terms or whatever, you should be able to get 2 terms, and then on your 3rd ray around, you need to get out of office.
Go do something else. Go
fishing. Go fishing.
Yeah, go write a book. Go to colleges. Teach somebody else something to do.
Right. Do something. Yeah. I think you should become a political teacher at this point.
Well, if you know the law. You know the law.
Oh, yeah, only if you know the law. But
you got to be able to know the law. And people that don't know the law shouldn't be trying to talk about knowing the law or what somebody should do with the law. Case in point. We know, we've all become familiar with the Georgia District Attorney, Fonnie Willis, who has filed a RICO indictment against the 45th president and 18 of his co-conspirators.
What's he talking about, Willis?
Who were involved with the 45th president in scheming and conniving and colluding and conspiring to overturn the 2020 election that stated and wanted to overturn the votes that the certification of Joe Biden become the president when these crazy people stormed the Capitol on January 6th in 2021 and said, well, he didn't do anything. I did nothing wrong. People are saying, I did nothing wrong. Okay, how do you do nothing wrong and nothing wrong get you 22 years in prison when we got you on video?
You might as well say, instead of saying, I did nothing wrong, I did nothing right. I did nothing right. right. Because evidently you did wrong because you're going to 22 years in jail. We know that. You can't say I did absolutely nothing wrong.
Oh, no.
You did. No,
you did.
Yeah.
Well, and if I think I heard someplace, I could be wrong. I think I heard someplace that the defense was asking the judge for leniency on his sentence. And the judge said, okay, instead of 23 years, you got 22.
Oh, that was the deal. That was the deal. That was the deal. Ooh, that was the deal. That was the greatest accomplishment. And they keep saying, oh, this is unprecedented. Well, yeah, that's the reason why the founding fathers put that clause in, put that amendment in the 14th Amendment, Section 3, that if you rise up and you start part of an insurrection, if you are conspiring with anybody and you violate your oath of office, because the Constitution says when you take the oath of president or in the military or anything like that, you are government work. You say, I promise that I will defend the Constitution of the United States of America against foreign or known or foreign entities who are going against the Constitution. That means if you over here in the country and you acting a fool, we gonna check your behind. Look at Timothy McVeigh. Look at all these, John Lee Malvoy. You jack up. You don't follow the rules. You going to jail. Mother love. Yeah, you just don't understand. This only refers to people that it refers to. It doesn't refer to me because I am a senator or I am a governor. It doesn't apply to me. And I was the ex-president of the United States of America. So, let's make America great again.
Yeah. You have done, you and your conspirators have done more damage to this country in 4 years. You out here talking about, all you did was whine, moan, and complain and call countries, crap countries, and how come we can't? Why don't we get some white immigrants to come over here? Why they always got to come from these black countries? These people down here and our Latino brothers and sisters. Why can't some of them come from Norway or Stockholm or Denmark? And Norway and Stockholm and Denmark told him, go pound sand. We're not coming over there with you. You have made your country the laughing stock in the political world. You are an embarrassment. And people that I just am just amazed, the people that follow him. And I was trying to think, this cat, Fonnie Willis, the Georgia District Attorney.
What you talking about, Willis?
Has filed a RICO case against them. He and the 45th and his 18 co-conspirators he's up on 91 charges. 91. And you did nothing wrong. Did you think by the 10th one you should have went in another direction? But now y'all so far up in his behind, you listening to everything he has to say like it's the gospel, like he just came down from Mount Sinai, and said, okay, now this is it. Remember when he said, I'm the only one that can fix this? I was waiting for him to say, I am God now. I'm like, dude, you can't even get the right length of tie on you. Shut up. You didn't shut up.
Yeah. You I ain't gonna give you that. I'm not gonna even give you that part. And that part right there. You're not gonna even get that. Because you just, come on, 91? And now everybody in America know your family members can't even get 9. Let alone 91.
Wait a minute.
You can't get 9.
They are so ridiculous, and been talking about this. Look at what. Let me tell you about Jim Jordan first. He's the Republican from Ohio. He had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the audacity to show his complete and utter incompetence and stupidity and ignorance when he had the nerve to send DA Fonnie Willis a letter telling her, demanding, I demand this. I demand you send me everything that you have on this case. I want to see every document. I want to see everything. And I want you to send it to look it up online. Look it up online.
All you would have heard from me, even if it was a letter, all you would have heard was like a hang-up line. I would have wrote him back, and all you would have seen in the letter was duh.
She is such a class act. She responded to his stupid letter, and she said to him, you need to go somewhere. Well, this is me paraphrasing what she said. She ultimately told him, you have no idea what the heck you talking about. Shut your stupid self up. And if you want to tell me about the law, why don't you do? And I don't think he's an attorney. And if he is, please disbar him. She told him, you have no idea how the laws in Georgia work. You have no jurisdiction.
Right.
Case I'm not sending you anything. She didn't even say she wasn't sending him nothing. She just let him have it so smooth.
Right.
It was just beautiful. And she told him, now see what you need to do if you want to learn about the law in Georgia that you don't have any jurisdiction over, because the federal government, the federal level cannot interfere with the state level. So you need to go somewhere.
Right.
Matter of fact, why don't you go take you $249 and go get a book? It's for non-lawyers that will help you understand the law and state laws, because it might as well have been RICO understanding for stupid people. And he
might as well be.
Sit there and think that he had the right to say that to her. This is how arrogant they are, and this is what's bad. I don't think it's arrogance when you know what you're doing. I think that's confidence. It's arrogant when you think you know what you're doing and you don't know crap from apple butter. and you just, spitting in the wind. That's what, and he has no idea what he is saying under any circumstances. It is just ridiculous. And they keep shoving this up under us. And I'm just, we still have to keep talking about it, because if we don't, we can't continue with this crap show. And Civic talking about if he's president, he would do something different on January 6th. Shut up, fool. And I would say that right to your face. I would. Because what you gonna do? You gonna fire me? You can't fire me. I believe in free speech. And I can say what I want to say, just like you say what you want to say. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's all I'm saying. You have the right to remain ridiculous. Anything you say or do will be used to you outside the court of understanding. If you cannot afford an attorney, well, ain't nobody really gonna work with you.
Well, you better not tell Rudy Giuliani. Don't say that.
We will give you a starter. We will give you a starter lawyer to help you get yourself together.
Okay, wait a minute. You know what that sounds like? Okay, when you say give you a starter, a starter attorney, it'd be somebody that's in law school. It's just like when you go to the barbershop. When you go to the barbershop, they'll tell you, okay, now we got some kids in here from the barber college, so they're gonna learn on you, and then they go back because they have to have, I guess, so many hours or whatever. Right. And the hairstylist. So you get, the young people can learn how to do that particular have that particular skill set. So and maybe they can help Rudy Giuliani get a starter lawyer, because he said he is bleeding. He cannot afford all these attorneys with all these and the 45th, and people still giving him money. They are still giving this man money.
I be going to my uncle talking about, hey, didn't you say you was gonna give me some money towards my attorney fees and all that? Soon as he said no, I would have been over his house and found that gold toilet, and I would have turned it in. I would have turned that toilet.
They said he went down to Mar-a-Lago. They said he went down to Mar-a-Lago and was begging the 45th to help him with his attorney fees. So the 45th said he was going to throw a couple of fundraising dinners for him at $100,000 a plate.
Right. You wasn't about to get that, right? You might as well do a GoFundMe.
Okay.
Because you wasn't about to
get a better shot at that. And I don't understand how how these attorneys keep going to him. And I like the judge, the one that's going to hear his case. She said that don't have your lawyers coming here and asking me for stupid stuff anymore. The only reason why y'all keep trying to delay this, and I'm sick and tired of your merry-go-round, revolving door attorneys. Get an attorney and stick with it.
Right. I mean, you're gonna use all the attorneys, so it ain't gonna be none left. Like this ain't. I don't understand it. Why would I? If I'm a lawyer, for real,
mm-hmm.
Why would I want to take this case when I know it's not a winnable case?
That's what I don't understand. And the attorneys are sitting there, just falling all over themselves. They know it's hard, really, really, really hard to break down and make sense of stupid stuff that does not make any sense. You could keep coming in there day after day, filing motion after motion. She said, oh no, this trial is going to start. And how happy a lot of us going to be that in the state of Georgia, they televised the trials. He gonna be on camera listening to these people. She wanted to try them all together. She said, all of them, you're all guilty of stuff. Some of them don't have all the same of them. Like Sidney Powell, I think she got 9 charges against her in the RICO count. Rudy Giuliani, I think he got 9 or 10 in the RICO count. Mark Meadows, he is. How did he even become the chief of staff? Well, I was just doing what the president told me. He told me to call Raffensperger down there in Georgia and tell him, that he needs some more votes. And and the president himself got on the phone and see, and I know it. I'm gonna tell you how I know. I know that it was the president. When he was the president, He's one of my favorite people in the world. His name is Jim Meskimen. He is a stand-up comic. He is a master of voices. Remember Rich Little?
Yeah.
This guy, Jim Meskimen, has sat at the feet of Rich Little. Matter of fact, I'm bragging here. I've had both of them on the program before, and he does an impeccable impersonation. And he said that was him on the phone. That was not me. That was not me. All I said was, listen, I need 11,780 votes and a side of fries. How you gonna tell somebody to overturn it? And if Mike Pence had any kind of backbone, he should have did the right thing. He should have just overruled. He should have certified that the Biden won. I won that election. I'm gonna tell it to the high heavens. John Eastman is the one who started that. Him and Steve.
Right.
Telling him, well, just tell him. You won the election, and it was stolen from you, and the machines was faulty. Okay, if the machines were so faulty, how come Fox had lost a defamation case against the voting machine people manufacturers to the tune of $778 gajillion?
Right. But that's just it. That's just it. Right.
How do you get 60 cases, 60 investigations kicked out of the judicial system? Talk about somebody misusing and abusing the judicial system and saying, oh, well, I had the right to take them files out of the White House. I'm the president. They belong to me. No, they don't.
That ain't the part that made me just be like, oh yeah, this is ridiculous. What made me be ridiculous when he said he declassified them with his mind. I threw the hands up. I said, okay,
that's it.
That's it.
Okay, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I'm calling my phone company and saying, hey, I declassified my mail with you, so I'm not paying it. So I declassified. I'm not paying this. I did it with my mind.
He's a grown, I won't say he's a grown man. He's a child in an adult's body. And his mind has not developed at all. His father, you get when you don't get your mother love and your father love and your familiar love like you deserve as a child. To raise up a son and tell your sons, you a loser. You a loser. And people are losers if they pay taxes. People are losers if they fix up their apartments. We're going to get these apartments and put these poor people in, and we're not going to go in and fix them up. What do we look? That's what they deserve. They're poor people. We don't have to be dealing with that. And then he got into his head, if my dad says I'm a loser, I'm going to prove to him that I'm not a loser. I'm going to prove to him that I'm a great businessman. That same thing, I guess, that the 45th is trying to drill into his son, Eric. Because here's a kid that you could see this man on camera, in his face, the pain, the distance that he feels from his father when all he wants to do is be accepted. He wants to get that parental what is it I'm trying to say? Want to get that where your father acknowledges you, your mother acknowledges you. I didn't get mine. The confirmation from my mother that she saw me as a person, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, and not as her 12-year-old daughter. That she saw me as an adult. And when she said to me, I was 35 years old. I was living in California. I didn't really think she was paying that much attention to me to tell you the truth.
Right.
And she came to visit us. And she said, I am just really proud of you. I'm so proud of what you have accomplished and what you continue to accomplish. I'm proud of your compassion. It took everything in me. And I was standing on the steps. I was going down the stairs because she was up in the loft. And I was going down the stairs. And I, was going down and she could see less and less of my head. And I stood there till she got finished. And I went down the stairs. I said, I want to run downstairs and run out the door. Scream, oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. My mama sees me. I'm going to be all right. And I've been all right. And that's
I
never know when it's going to come, and he seems to have never gotten that. He seemed to have poured all of his love into his daughter that he said publicly, if she wasn't my daughter, I would date her. Now, that's when I was done. That's when I was DONE done. I was outdone. And I'm gonna be honest. I used to be a sort of kind of fan of his. I read his book, The Art of a Deal, and I thought it was a pretty decent book. And I kept saying, in his part, and I wonder if he really did this. Come to find out, he didn't write the book. And the worst writing job he ever had. Said he would never write one. And do you think he would actually write a memoir? And what would his library look like? Because all the presidents are supposed to raise money, have fundraisers to build their library.
Man, he wouldn't have nothing but pictures in his library. He don't read no books. Why would he read a book? It'd be a bunch of pictures in there. It'd be a whole bunch of pictures. Like, this is the lesson today, boys and girls. We're gonna look at pictures. Because who's gonna read anything he wrote?
See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, we're gonna let our brains rest. Babies on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Okay, I'm sorry. Follow us on X. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us on our YouTube. Follow us on the Mother Love YouTube channel. That's what we're gonna be. Follow Mother Love on the
YouTube. How about follow us? Not stalk us.
Because we didn't. Look, and we'll go slow in case Nancy want to come and follow us there too.
Yeah, but remember, no stalking.
No
stalking. No stalking. Please, no stalking. I don't have no more than $2. I have no more than $2.
See, you don't stalk people from Ohio. They don't know what kind of weapon we got. We have
yeah. You don't want to stalk us anyway, because our credit messed up anyway. Not all of Ohio. I'm just saying, man.
Not everybody.
I'm just saying, man. Somebody steal my identity, they gonna be mad.
After the pandemic, us getting through this pandemic, I'm surprised that only the rich people, their credit is probably still good. But you don't forget that you could rebuild your credit. Don't let that fret you. We're not gonna fret anymore. Know that we love you. Like I said, follow us on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on YouTube. Pick a format, pick a platform. We're gonna be on that platform. Come with us live Monday through Friday from 2:00 till we get tired of talking. That's what we're gonna do. Right?
Well, we ain't got no time to quit.
when we feel like they should have never told me about this Restream. Right. They say you can talk long as you want to, Mother Love, and I'm like,
oh, okay. Hey, Mother Love, and another thing while we talking, and another thing while we talking. That's all we.
Okay, while we talking, we were talking about the assassination of JFK.
Yeah, we ain't got to quit unless we want to.
I want to ask you this question. We were talking about JFK's assassination. A little while ago in the show, and I want to know. I mean, I know what it is, but why do they say presidents and people in power get assassinated, but regular people get murdered? Aren't they still dead?
Oh yeah. Oh well, you said the wrong thing though.
What?
Presidents get assassin, and the regular people get killed.
Yeah, we get killed and murdered.
We get killed and murdered. I thought killed and murder was the same thing as assassin, but I guess it sounds different.
That's what I'm saying. I'm learning to keep up with the lingo with the young people. I have to find out what the acronyms mean. And I was sitting there and I'm trying to see what does RMTP. It's called RTMP. You know what it stands for.
RTMP.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Real-time messaging protocol. That's what we are in, a real-time messaging protocol. But I said, I'm gonna figure out what this is. Okay, I figured it out because I Googled it. I got 8.5 brain cells left, and I will Google it. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I found out. Google and all them platforms, they don't know everything. Yeah, artificial intelligence is, it's cool and everything to a point. This is the reason why we're on strike now, and SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild are on strike now, because the studios want to pimp out our name, image, and likeness, and our voices and our mannerisms, and put them in AI. And you could tell the AI robot, okay, tell me a story write me a script about Mother Love and Cool TLC. And then you hear us in it. I'm like, And if you want to do that, we should be compensated accordingly.
Yeah, that's what it should be. And then you know what? But that's because people are UDAH.
Oh, see, there's another.
You know what that stands for?
No, tell me.
UDAH. That stands for you dumb as hell. I just made that up.
Right. You are right about that.
UDAH.
I'm gonna tell you what I read this. I guess it's called a blog. I read this blog post called Daily Cause, KOS. This is where a lot of progressives are. You want to know, get some grown up conversation. That's nice to hear things and learn things. And let me say, those people on there who make comments, they are so brilliant. I mean, one guy said the other day. He said they were talking about the 91 charges against the former president with the RICO charges, and the guy goes, "Yeah, that's what we wanted him," because they were saying, "Well, I don't care how many charges he got against him. I don't care how many women they say he sexually assaulted. I'm gonna vote for him anyway because that's what he told me to do, and I didn't do anything wrong when I helped storm the Capitol. That's our house." No, it isn't. So he said, "So, I know. I want my president to have 91 RICO accounts under his belt, and I want him to have sexual harassment under his belt, and I want his lying under his belt. Well, maybe I might vote for him if he started to kick puppies and stomp kitty cats."
Oh wow!
That's how deep they go.
No, I can't. No, I can't. I mean,
they are, some of them. I mean, it is. I mean, they're very poignant. Some of them are very angry, and you get to voice your opinion as an adult, and that's what's important. And there needs to be more adults in the. Speaking of adults in the room, I think if I could recollect, the young guy's name is David Hogg. He was one of the children that survived in the Parkland slaying. That guy went in and slaughtered 17 kids down there in Florida.
Right.
Florida. Well, he and some of his young people have got together, and they have. This is a big plug for them. It's called Young Leaders That We Deserve. It's an organization, a nonprofit organization, where they're educating young people 18 up to understand about the political system, what the issues are, and where they fit in, and how they. Because listen, the aging of the Congress. The average age is 66. Vivek talking about he wanted them to vote when they're 25. Oh, yeah, right. So they could vote your nail behind completely out of office. Go somewhere and pound sand. And these young kids, if they call you, if you see them, please support them. I know he doesn't think anything about this, but all of our young people, I'm so proud of this. She's my bonus goddaughter. She is a powerhouse in the Black community here in Los Angeles, and her Jasmine Canick, and this chick is a powerhouse. She knows everybody who knows everybody. Everybody comes and consults her. And I met her when I first came out here, and just watching her star rise. They quote her in the newspaper. They quote her in Congress. She is a pillar in the community for African Americans, for people who are dealing with HIV and AIDS and other disenfranchised people. And when you see her, when you hear her, support our young people, because they are our future. And remember, you old people, young people are watching you. They are watching you. And just like babies mimic you, they'll know what to do and what not to do. Let them see the best in you. Let them see the best in all of us.
Right. Hey, and don't forget, I want to give a shout out. You know what today is, right?
Today is the 22nd anniversary of 9/11.
Right. And they opening up the museum because they finally completed it. 20 years in the making.
It is so hard. And as many times as I went to New York after that, it was just so hard to go. Everybody knew what they were doing at that time. I found out my sister girlfriend, she called me early in the morning. And she said, turn on the TV. She didn't think it was real. As soon as I turned the TV on, you hit the second tower. And it was like, and they still will not charge the Saudis. They all up in their butt. They went over there and started a war in a country that didn't have anything to do with 9/11. That was all the Saudis. Osama bin Laden was a Saudi. He was from Saudi Arabia. And now they're so far up in their butt. So I guess losing over 3,000 lives and affecting thousands and hundreds of thousands more, from what happened. Jon Stewart is out there pounding the pavement, letting them have it because of the way that our government has treated the survivors and their families of 9/11. These women are dealing with all kinds of different kind of cancers and just horrible things that they have to deal with, and just it's just awful, and that they don't have access to the best health care that this country can offer.
Oh no, they don't. When it happened, when 911, I'm gonna just tell the truth. When it happened, I was dead asleep, and I woke up, and I seen the first plane, whatever, run into the building. For real, I said, "Oh wow, this seems like a good movie. I'm gonna watch this when I wake back up," because I had no idea that it was for real.
I thought it was a special effect too, because how does see, that's a whole nother story, and
that's a whole nother.
How was those planes allowed to fly that far under the radar, under the radar to hit the Twin Towers? They had to see them coming. Somebody had to see them coming. Somebody up in that booth had to see them planes coming and say they were down too low. They had to know.
Right.
One of them ignorant chicks, one of them ignorant Republicans said, "How could a plane? I think the plane into the Pentagon was a setup. I don't think that was real." I'm like, it's like that guy, the crazy guy that said Sandy Hook didn't happen and just crushed those families and said that they were lying. It was a setup. It was a conspiracy.
Right.
You can see stuff right in your face and you won't believe your eyes. Who you gonna believe? Them or your lying eyes? Because your eyes are telling a lie. You can't discern.
Right. You can't. That's the problem right there. People believe what they want to make up in their mind to be the truth for them. That's all it is. It's the truth for you. That ain't reality. That's your truth. That's your
still a lie. A lie is a lie. And when you lie, you got to keep the story keep changing. It keep changing all the time. Sidney Powell's story kept changing. She was like right behind him. Oh yeah, drink bleach. Put a laser up your butt. All of that'll work. It'll blow over. Yeah, and this chick is an attorney.
Right, but I say the most ridiculous stuff I can say, because you know what it's gonna do? It's going to inflame the people that really, if it's stupid and it's unbelievable, why are you so mad at it?
Okay, there we go. We're going to table this conversation because we're starting to get way too logical, but we need some logic in the world.
Yeah, because I don't want the people in the back row to even get smarter than me.
I want the people in the back row to get smarter than me, so when they get down to the front row, I know they're ready to take over.
I'm too bougie, though. I'm too bougie. I don't want nobody better than me.
Well, we're going to talk to your bougie stuff on next Wednesday. Know that we love you. Remember, babies, follow Mother Love on Facebook. Follow Mother Love and Cool TLC on X. Follow Mother Love and Cool TLC on what's the other one? Instagram.
Yes, Instagram.
I like and YouTube TV, the YouTube channel, Mother Love on the YouTube channel, and you can see me live and see some other stuff I've done. People always say, "Well, where have you been?" I'm right here. People will say, "Well, I was trying to find." No, you wasn't. I had the same telephone number for 1,200 years. Shut up talking to me. And my cell phone, well, I don't. I was forced.
Yeah, let's don't talk about that. Let's don't talk about this.
Okay, we are not talking about. I love you, man.
That's another issue.
No.
And the reason I'm not on camera, I'm gonna let everybody know. The reason I'm not on camera because I got to handle this pimple that's on my face. So don't worry about why y'all can't see me. Look at the picture. It's the same person.
With a big giant zit on your face.
Right, that's all. That's all.
You know what a giant zit on your face mean when you get to be
here we go. Here we go. What does it mean?
What that mean?
What it mean?
We ain't going Y217 rated. No.
What? A zit on your at our age?
No.
And I thought when you get older, a zit on your face means everything about to come out.
Right, and everything gonna need to come out because you've been holding it in too long.
Right, but what that got to do with Y14-7?
Orifices.
What? I'm going to the doctor. I'm going. It start leaking. You said it start leaking.
Yeah, stuff start leaking. They got adult diapers. I mean, when
but
you need one for your pimple. When you get old, you ain't really potty trained anymore. When you potty trained, but you can't get there fast enough like you used to.
But you can't put a diaper on your pimple though.
Oh well, no. No, but you can put some salve on it.
Do they still sell salve?
You know what? Let me tell you. You know what you could put on your face? You could crack an egg and take the skin out the inside of the egg and put it on your face. That's what that'll get to put it right out.
Mother love, do not have nobody catching salmonella. Don't have nobody catching salmonella.
I'm trying. Listen. We didn't have all these fancy schmancy face creams and hydrochloric acid. Look, we had Crisco, we had palm olive soap, and we had we had Dove soap, and we had the cream. You put that on
Castile.
When you ran out the cream, you just went and got some Crisco.
Yeah, don't forget the Castile soap. Don't forget the Castile soap.
What'd you say?
Don't forget the Castile soap to dry your skin out, so you can really do your job with your pimples and stuff. It'll dry your skin all the way out.
I mean, if you got, I'm telling you, wait a minute. And they still make Castile soap. I have some in my bathroom at home right now.
That's when you give that to somebody that's really, if you want to be cruel to your company, give them some Castile soap and tell them wash their hands. That is the cruelest thing you can do to your company.
See, now that is just wrong. And don't give it. And the peppermint one. Oh, got peppermint in the Castile soap. Soon as it touch your body, it seems like everything just it be too minty fresh. It's just too minty fresh, and it be burning. I'm like, okay, we're never using this.
Right. Yeah, you never. If anybody ever see that bar of soap, don't even buy it just to put it in the house. I'm just telling you, not the one with the peppermint.
My God. That's the one. No, you leave that one. I'm telling you, leave that one on the shelf, y'all. Leave that one on the shelf. We're going to leave this conversation. Know that we love you and there ain't nothing you could do about Mother Love and Cool TLC loving you. Peace.
Right. Your mama.
Right.
Right. That's what I got to say about it. Your mama.